Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Emily Hiles, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Leading Seaman Raymond Stanton. This evening, we warmly welcome the family of Trooper Leonard Woodward Turner, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family, visitors to the memorial, and students on behalf of Lilydale Primary School, Lilydale, Victoria. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Students, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where family and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament. Flowers of the forest, wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Trooper Leonard Woodward Turner. Leonard Turner was born on the 6th of September 1884 in Macclesfield, England. Affectionately known as Len, he was one of 4 children born to local storekeeper and merchant Frederick Turner and his wife Emily. Emily died shortly after Len's birth, and Len's father remarried a local woman named Amelia when Len was 2 years old. Shortly after, the family moved to Western Australia and settled down in the town of Albany, where Len attended the collegiate school. Later, he and his family relocated to Glenelg in South Australia, where his father owned and operated a general store. Len attended the model school and undertook a course in elementary mechanical drawing while working as a salesman. Len was a keen sportsman, participating in sailing as well as playing cricket and lacrosse. Eventually, Len's father sold his business in Glenelg and the family returned to Western Australia, settling in the small town of Cabarling. Len became a member of the local rifle club and went into business with his father, opening Turner & Sons General Stores. When war broke out in 1914, Len Turner was among the first men in the district to enlist, joining the Australian Imperial Force on the 6th of October 1914. He was assigned to A Squadron of the 10th Light Horse Regiment and began a short period of training in Australia. He embarked for active service from Fremantle on the 8th of February 1915, sailing on board the troop ship Mashobra. After Trooper Turner arrived in Egypt, he continued training with the other members of his brigade. As light horse units were initially considered unsuitable for service on Gallipoli, Turner and his comrades did not reach the peninsula until late May of 1915, when they deployed without their horses. Having missed the initial landings, Len's first weeks on Gallipoli were spent establishing and defending the Anzac front line, initially around Monash Gully, and later around Walker's Ridge. In July, Turner contracted influenza. He was evacuated to receive medical treatment and arrived on the Greek island of Lemnos later that month. In hospital at Mudros, it was discovered that he had pneumonia and his condition worsened. A week later, Turner's family were notified that he was dangerously ill. He succumbed to the disease later that day, dying in hospital on the 27th of July, 1915. Len was remembered in a memorial placed in the West Australian newspaper which read, "God grant the victory, that his death be not in vain." Trooper Leonard Turner was 30 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Trooper Leonard Woodward Turner, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of our director, staff and volunteers, we'd like to thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.